Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Lunch and Learn, this week's edition of Tech Bites. And we would like to welcome you to our 30-minute or less session on just a little tidbit of Microsoft Word. And this one is going to be on text boxes. My name is Prestine P. I am the Technology Director here at Southwest REC. And there are a lot of things that you can learn about text boxes. It's a great way to draw attention to something important in your Microsoft Word document. So it's just a fun little feature. And so I'm excited to share this with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see if I can bring this right up. There we go. And I am hoping that you are seeing my text box screen here. And let me try one more thing. I'm nervous I don't have my assistant to tell me yes or no if it's being shared properly. So let me just try that again. There we go. All right, so we're going to just kind of go through some of the features of text boxes and give you some examples, and hopefully you'll pick up a thing or two. All right, so many of you may not realize that text boxes there's a lot of different things, and even this word art right here is actually a text box as well. If you see right there, it has the little box around it, so that's even a text box as well. But I'm not going to go into word art today. It'll take me too long because I will get excited and get on a tangent there. So we are going to talk about some other text boxes as well. And so, as I mentioned, that's a great way to draw attention to something in a Word document. And there are a variety of different pre-formatted text boxes, or you can draw and format your own. But even if you do choose one of their pre-formatted styles, you can still modify them, and that way it fits your own style. So we're going to get started with the pre-formatted text boxes. I'm going to talk about your drawing of text boxes. I'm even going to show you how to link text boxes, customize your text boxes, and the drop cap. And I just noticed that I have that link in there twice. I must have been real excited about that one. And just a couple of little hints that as you are modifying text boxes, make sure that you are clicking on the edge of a text box if you're wanting to change the box itself. That's one of the common mistakes that people make. And then when you're modifying the text itself, then you would highlight the text within the text box when you're changing it. So let's go ahead and get started. And on this blank page over here, I'm going to put my cursor there. And in your ribbon across the top, when you go to insert across that ribbon, you're looking for text box right here. Clicking on that, you're going to see the gallery appear. And so here are some of those pre-formatted text boxes that you can choose from. And there's a lot in there that you can choose from. And if you click on them, you'll see that it just automatically puts that selection in. And so I'm just going to kind of show you what they are and continue just kind of putting a couple in there so you can see them. And so you can see what they look like, and you can move them around and different things. And back to insert. And they all are going to work very, very similarly. So the things that I show you today will work with all of these. And so you can see just by choosing any of these, it's just going to go ahead and put it right into your document. And you can see that it'll have some pre-inserted text, and it's highlighted, so you can just start typing your own in there and it takes it away. Okay. Now here's a handy little trick. If you wanted to go ahead and automatically insert that, you could highlight some text and you could cut that text and go in and let me insert blank page again. I really messed things up there. And insert a blank, a pre-formatted in here, highlight this. And if I just go ahead and paste that text that I just had put out of there, it's going to automatically put that in. So I had just cut that from over here, and it automatically stuck that right into the text box when I pasted it. So that's a very fast way to do that. If you already had some text in your document and you decided you wanted to put that in a text box, super easy just to cut and paste it right into a text box. So let's go ahead and go back. See if I can get all my stuff back in here. There. All right, so you can see now that, again, going into insert under that text box, you have lots of options there for their pre-formatted text boxes. I generally like to just draw my own text boxes and then stylize them my own way. And so I'm going to go ahead and go on to that one from here. So drawing your text box, you'll notice that your cursor changes into a crosshair. And that way you can draw your own text box. So you just hold down your mouse button and draw your text box right in. And you can see that it has put it right in. Your cursor is blinking and it's ready for you to begin. So you just click and drag, you create your text box. And it's as easy as that, and it's ready for you to begin. So now you have two different ways that you can get your text box in here. Super easy to do that. So let's talk about ways that you can add text in here. So you can start typing away right here, and you are ready to go. Or if you wanted to, you could take some text and just copy and paste. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and take all of this, and I'm going to copy this into this text box. And you can see that, of course, my text box isn't big enough. And so I can do a lot of different things. I can just expand my text box in different ways with these little handles here. So you can do that and make it fit in this way. Another way you can do this, and I think this is kind of a fun way to do this, I could actually link some text boxes and it would flow right into the next text box. So let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and go into Insert, and I'm going to put another text box in here. So I'm going to draw another text box right beside it. I'm going to kind of move it up just a little bit, just kind of hit that corner right there. And I am going to, when I'm in this text box, I get this new menu right here called Shape Format. And when I get in here, then I get this option right here that says Create Link. And when I click on it, my mouse turns into this little bucket, and I can put that right into this text box and click. Try that again, sorry. Goodness. Okay, I have my two text boxes. I must make sure that this one is empty. Remember when we did that before and it put its own text in here? If that happens, you want to make sure that's empty. Now I'm going to go back into my first text box that has all of my text that I copied in there. Now, in there, I'm going to go into Shape Format. I'm going to hit Create Link, and I want to take this text box and link it to this. And so that bucket is going to pour into this text box. And when I click on it, now what didn't fit here is now overflowing into this text box. And so it's kind of a neat little tool. And you can even put more than one additional text box. So you could have 3 of them if you wanted to. So I could put a third one in here. So let's just try it for fun. And I'm going to do another text box, draw text box, and let's just put it right here just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to go to this last one that I was in, and I'm going to create that link. And again, it's under a new menu called Shape Format. Create the link. From here, I want it to pour into this one, and there's the last of my information. So it's gone from here to here to here. So you can have like some fun with your text boxes, and it will link those texts into each other. And so that's just kind of a fun way. You can move them around a little bit and bring it into here. And so those just kind of pour into each other. So that's kind of a fun little thing that you can do with those text boxes. And if you want to get rid of them, remember, if you're getting rid of the whole text box, make sure that you are clicking on the edges of those text boxes in order to get rid of them. If you click on the inside, it's just going to get rid of the text. So you want to get rid of the whole text box by clicking on the edge of the text box. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here so that we can talk about customizing those text boxes. And that way we have some text to play with. So when we're looking at the text box, if we click on the edges, then we can go up here and we can look at all the different things that we can change. Now, of course, there's always more than one way to do anything on the computer. And so you can right click on it and bring up some menus. Anytime you right click on a computer, there's some hidden menus. And so if there's a hidden menu to be found, it'll pop up when you right click. So you have options here that you can do. Some little quick menus come up here as well. You also have layouts with this little horseshoe right here. So this layout will ask you how you want to have this text box react. So do you want it to be in line with text? Do you want it to do some other things? So what it means by that is whenever you have it in your document that already has text, this is on top of the text. Do you want it to be, let's see if I can get that to come back up for me here. Do you want it to be behind the text? Do you want it to be through the text? Did you see how the text moved around there? So it's kind of making the text go around the box. You could have it go behind the text and in front of the text. If you have pictures, that sometimes comes into play as well. So you can see how it changes things up there. Okay, so that's what that particular one does. And let's see if I can get some things changed back over here. All right. Again, right click on that edge brings you your menu of options here. So right here, you can change if you want fill or not in here. Right now, it is filled with a white background, and you can tell that if you were to put it against this text, this word art box right here, that it has a white background. But we can change that. We can change that fill to be any color that we want. So we could change it to have a colored background. We could change it to be, can't seem to grab that there. There it goes. We can change it to have any color background that we want. We can even have a picture as the background. And I'll show you what that looks like. We can do it from a file on our computer. We can even go online and get pictures. We could have some stock images that we can get, or we can get some icons that are on our computer. So we can get some different things here. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a file on my computer. If it will react, there it comes. And so if I grab a picture off of my computer and insert that, then you can see there's a picture in the background. So you can put pictures, you can do even a gradient. A fun thing to do is just do some gradient colors in the background. Let's see, back to our fill. So you can do a gradient of colors. So you could have like colors that are coming from the middle, from the sides. Let's do that. It's hard to tell with this picture the way that I did the text there, I apologize, but you can do some different things with your text there. I generally don't want a fill. I want it to be invisible. And so with that, you can tell, because now if I put it here, you can see that it will show right through here. And for whatever reason, I managed to do my text in a funny way to where my text has a background. But if I had done it properly, then it wouldn't even show that background there. So as an example, I'm going to go ahead and just take all of this out and just type in some information real fast. I can't spell when I'm in a hurry typing. Okay, so there's some text there. Make it a little bit smaller here. I can go in now, just like any way that you are jazzing up your text in a Word document. All of those things are going to come into play here. So I can change my color. I can make it bold, italic, underlined, anything that you can do normally you can do in this text box. So I can change the font, I can change the size, I can do all of those things in my text box. So that is going to be exactly the same as you're familiar with in Microsoft Word. So now you can see that it's invisible. There is no background at all in here, okay? And again, so if I wanted to fill it with color, I can do that. I can change my font color. I can do all these different things. So that type of formatting you're familiar with in a regular Word document. And then again, if I want to change the box itself, then I want to get right on the edge there and do my right click so that I can do some different things there. Now, I like to go ahead and go down here and format shape, because then I'll get a side panel. And it's a little bit easier for me to make my changes here, and I can see it a little easier. So again, if I wanted to do a fill, then I could do a fill. And so if I did a gradient fill, I can change the colors and I can tell it what colors I want. I can go in here and say, I want it to be orange. And the second color I can choose in here as well. I want it to be, don't want it to be Halloweeny, so I'm trying to get a different color in here. So I can choose my colors and really play with it here. If I want it to be a solid color, I can go in here and tell it what color I want it to be. So anything I want to do here, and I can go in and I want the line to be, maybe I want my line to be red. And I can say that I want it to be fun and wavy, and I want it to be a really thick line. I can change that. I can really play with it and make it lots of fun here. So text boxes, like I said, you can really match your style and personality and make it a lot of fun. You can also make it a little transparent. So you have some transparency right here, so you can do some really fun things there. And then when you're done with that, you can get rid of that little side panel there. All right, so now another thing that is fun to do, and you've seen these in children's books and even some fun articles and stuff, and that's called drop cap. I'm going to go back in here, and you see right here, if I put my cursor right next to this word right there, then drop cap becomes an option right here. It was grayed out before I put my cursor there. Then I can select drop cap. And what this does is it's going to capitalize that first letter of my paragraph. And I know this isn't a text box, but again, we're giving some jazz to our document. And that's what text boxes really are all about, is to kind of highlight that document so that it's not so drab. So if I wanted to highlight that document, then I can do this right here. And it does make a little text box right there. So what I like about this is kind of reminds me of like fairy tales and things like that, when they have that once upon a time and they have that real pretty letter at the beginning. So you can change the letter. Let's go back. You can change that letter. You can even change the font of that one letter so that it's really standing out. Now that wasn't as pretty as I thought it would be. Let's see if I can find a better, more dramatic letter there. There we go. And so that one is called drop cap. And so those are some different ways that you can play with text boxes to enhance your Word documents. So text boxes really are a lot of fun and help you to draw attention to certain areas of your document. And maybe it's a quote that you are wanting to bring emphasis to in your document, things like that. So lots of ways to play with your document and bring some attention to certain areas. Now, when I was in the classroom, I used to use nothing but shapes and text boxes for my newsletters. And so you can just play with that and be able to just jazz up a little document with just some fun text boxes and shapes. So they all can be just put into a Word document. You don't have to have anything special like Publisher or anything like that. And you can put together something very, very simple with just some text boxes and even shapes with some words in it as well. So that's all I have for you today, is just some fun little tools here that you can do with text boxes. And I hope that you are enjoying this particular session that we have today. And let me stop sharing my screen. And I want to thank you all for stopping by and watching our Tech Bites today. Our Lunch and Learn is always just a short little tidbit to help you with a feature, usually in a Microsoft product. And so we invite you to come by again. And if you miss the live recordings, we always have them recorded so that you can come back and look at them on your own free time. And we have them saved in our YouTube channel. So come back again and you can see our schedule on the Southwest REC website under Tech Bites, and you can see our schedule and come back and visit anytime. And we have our 1-hour sessions also every other Tuesday, once at 7:30, and then we repeat them again at 3:30. And these are going to be other types of ed tech resources for our educators so that you can use them in your classroom. Maybe you can use them with your students, and there are even some tools that you can use in your instruction so that your students can have a new way of learning as well. So we invite you to come back again and be able to experience new ways of doing things or making things easier for you and more productive in the classroom. Thanks again, and we hope to see you again real soon.